Raiders and a Chiefs
Oh,
fan.
I understand it because
No.
it's deep enough that even Raiders fans don't like the Cowboys.
I don't hate y'all. I just hate your fans. That's all. That's really the only reason.
I actually agree
I hate the fans, but
I can't
hate
stand the fans either.
Hey, these are gonna be good sessions.
Y'all do wear. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I was just gonna say these are gonna be some good sessions in the future when we record the sports and the football talking shit because we're all pretty spirited and it's gonna get bad when somebody's team is losing. Whoever's fucking team is fucking like 2-6 or something. Oh my God.
I expect, especially if I say we're going 10-6, I expect at least 6 losses. So a loss it doesn't get to me like a lot of people.
Yeah,
I don't expect to win all the games.
Your team is 2-6 and we're about to do a podcast. We're gonna let your ass have it.
That's the thing. I can't do it that night. I can't talk about it Sunday night. I can't. After the next day, I'm good. But that night, I can't talk about it. But after that, I'm good.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very fun.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Fuck them goddamn Chiefs, but it's gonna be fun. Okay. But we got a podcast to do, and obviously we had quite a bit of dialogue. So from here, I'm gonna let Chris introduce us, and we're gonna move on. What's going on?
You already know what time it is. You hanging with Isaac, Vic, Dion, Eric, and myself, Chris G, and we are the Arrogant Underdogs.
It's showtime!
What's going on with y'all? It's Friday.
Feeling great. Just finished talking all kinds of shit.
Man,
awesome.
Sports always do that to you.
Awesome.
Hey,
yeah, man.
Patrick Mahomes for president. That's what I'll say. Shit.
Fuck all that.
I mean, you want to say that bullshit after what he said last year? How can you even support the man? I can't even look at the screen right now. You supporting this man after what he said last year? How you get like that, Eric?
As a black man, preach.
How you get like that, Eric? Hear what your man said last year. What did he say last year?
What did he say?
Let me tell you what he said.
What came out?
He said, basically, to sum it all up, I fucks with Zimmerman. Go ahead.
Bam!
Okay, and what year did that tweet surface?
I don't think that matters.
You don't think it matters that 17-year-old kid makes a comment and now he's a 24, 25-year-old man that we're going to hold him accountable for some shit he said as a child? You motherfuckers. You motherfuckers are
absolutely crazy. Why do we forgive every dumb decision that someone does and hide behind this moniker of a child? He's not a dumbass. He's not stupid.
Okay.
He basically said,
No. Don't basically. Don't infer.
Okay,
Tell us
let's
what he
not
said.
infer. Let's not
Tell
infer.
us what he said.
He sounded like he was down with the Zimmermans. That's what he sounded like. And I ain't with you, just a fan of him. And you trying to forgive him.
Bias.
His exact words were, "No one knows what actually happened," which is why
which is white people talk for plausible deniability.
For everybody listening at home, in case you didn't know, this motherfucker's a lawyer.
I am.
That's a great point.
How's it going?
He tried to get in his back. Hey, let me say this real quick. Listen, Isaac, in the law, if you're under 18 in most states, are you tried as an adult or a child?
It really depends on the charge. It depends on the charge. Because when you're and for black and brown people, it's a hell of a lot more adult.
Right, but in society, when you're under 18, are you considered an adult or a child?
It really depends where you're at on that scale. It depends on
where you're at. Let me ask the rest of the underdog in your world in society. If you are under 18, what are you considered?
You're a child.
You cannot enter into a
legal contract
as a child.
Right.
So
the point I'm making is the decision making when you're under 18 isn't as weighted as when you're a full grown adult. So sometimes people make decisions that you do have to weigh the age. You do have to weigh the age.
I'm not saying not.
You disagree with it, so you don't want to.
Oh no. Listen, all this aside, although I hate the Chiefs, I love Pat. Pat is the man.
Yeah, I love Pat too. That don't mean he didn't make a dumbass comment.
But I can look at the dumbass comment that he made and I can crucify him for it. But at the same time, I can move on and understand that he is an adult now and he's making better choices. But that doesn't erase what he did. It sounds as if you guys are trying to erase what.
No. We're just not trying to cancel him for it. That's all.
Oh, I'm not canceling him. I'm just saying he made a dumbass comment that makes me wonder where his psyche is.
I'll tell you I'll tell you where it is real quick. He did not say all lives matter. Patrick Mahomes made a statement saying that Black Lives Matter.
Today. Not today, but recently.
Recently. So there has been, if you're going to charge him with what he did as a kid, there has been exponential growth.
Yes.
Obviously. So
yes.
Talk about what he is doing as
we back on sports.
We are. And we're not going to do
we're
that.
We're never going to get away.
This is the arrogant that Patrick prays for another day.
We're going to get into our series of topics. And I have a feeling that for one of these topics, Patrick Mahomes is going to be coming up again because Eric is going to have a whole lot to say. But first, we have the rapid fire. The first topic is open relationships. If your significant other was down with it, if she or he said that you could have an open relationship with someone else, would you do it or would you?
I'm not doing it. I have enough stress trying to keep up with the one husband I have. Y'all are hard to deal with. I know y'all try to act like y'all better than women, you're smarter than women, you make more sense than women, but you don't.
Yes,
so I have.
Who says all these things? Oh my God.
You don't. Yeah. Y'all are hard to deal with. A lot of y'all don't like to communicate and all that great stuff. So one husband, just one, is enough for me. I'm good.
I would like to say, who are these men? my
God. There's a lot.
We don't communicate.
I didn't say all.
Sounds very chauvinistic.
I said a lot of y'all.
Downright to
get out
the
of
point
Florida,
of
girl.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Keep it real. That's me all the way.
See?
Now, well,
Eric
Chris
ain't saying nothing. That's probably him too.
Oh, we're gonna get to Eric. Unfortunately, I like to put Eric last because he's got a lot to say about the Chiefs lately, and I don't like it. So last he goes right now. So, Chris.
That depends on the only way I would consider it if my girlfriend was willing to have a relationship with another woman, if that was her idea and not mine, of course. But even with that, I don't trust women. I think women are very jealous creatures. So even if they brought that idea to me, which sounds good to a man, and I think I would doubt it because I just believe they're too jealous.
Smart man.
You guys can share, and I wouldn't expect good things to come out of it. Because the moment I give her an extra hug or smack her on the ass a little harder than you or something, it becomes a different conversation. So, nah, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna just say no, be safe and say no because black men don't cheat.
That's not cheating though, right? If she let you, that's not cheating.
But you know what? I think even in that she would consider it cheating if something happens. Just her mind frame alone would say, hey, you're kissing her a little too much. That's cheating.
Beyond, what he is illustrating is women and logic. All right.
No, and no. And the answer is pretty simple. Shit costs too much. We was just having a conversation the other day about tricking. You're talking about an open relationship. You know the type of shit I find myself in. I'm at this party, that party, tricking off over here, tricking off over there. Man, that shit costs too much. Hell no. I ain't got that kind of paper, bro. Shit you talking about. Damn. No, sir. Not me. Not the kid.
Understood, sir. Smart man.
I would say younger Vic, hell yeah. I used to do it all the time. I would just often forget to tell the girl it was an open relationship. Caused a bunch of problems. But yeah, I'm forgetful. But younger Vic, yeah, I think the dynamic of having children changes all that shit. Like I can't ever see myself doing that, having seeds. But prior kids, I would have thought about it. I would have, especially if when you in a whole rehab and you still have that itch, like it makes you want to do that shit, So I think if right now, no, because I have a family. But if I didn't have a family, I'd be more open to it.
I've been offered this type of situation a few times. I never realized just how open-minded women are. But the problem that you often run into is, unfortunately, a whole fucking lot of different problems. For one, I am not paying a whole lot of money for one chick. I'm cheap as fuck. You think I'm going to pay for two? Absolutely not. In addition, you think that I'm going to allow two women to stay within the same jurisdiction and allow their cycles to sync up and have double jeopardy at the same time? Absolutely not. There will not be any of that. There will not be any of that. And most importantly, I am not going to deal with the cattiness and the needs of two different women when I barely, as you guys saw as I was on the phone earlier, want to deal with one. Absolutely not. And with that,
so it was a chick. Okay.
We were right. Mm-hmm.
I must have told
100.
Well,
I must have told him. Can
I just add, I would like to change my answer. I'll actually be okay with it because as you spoke, I calculated the numbers in my head. That's one big bottle of Amsterdam. That's $19.99 for the liter. Boom. We get some breakfast ice cream. Them hoes can split it.
But
one Happy Meal. Them hoes is good. That's about $24. I'm in there, and that's a threesome. Let's do it.
That's a threesome, sir. But if in fact you have an open relationship, you have an essential verbal agreement with two people, which means your Brewster's and your Amsterdam turns into Cheesecake Factory.
Hold on, time out. Maybe.
Y'all not doing this right. If y'all not doing it right, if that's what you think is happening.
Exactly.
What is an open relationship?
Open relationship means I get to go out and do what I want to do, and she gets to do whatever she wants to do, and we come back and we cohabitate. That's what open is. You guys are talking about like a polygamous relationship.
Okay,
this is not polygamy, man.
Okay, let me explain that.
You still would have to do it twice, right?
Yes, but often, and I just say this from my experience with females in the past, I'm repeating it for purposes of video, in the past, that have come to me with an open mind as far as this is concerned. Typically, that has always, I'm not even going to say typically, it has always resulted in them wanting to have some type of relationship or relations that turns into relationships with the person that I may choose to go with in the alternative.
Yeah, that's
so for you guys to think that an open relationship is going to be you deciding to go to a new team and your current team not coming after you, you're crazy.
No, hold on, man. We gotta get this straight.
Throw away that whole playbook, brother. Throw away that whole playbook.
I'm not a hoe. I don't cheat. I don't do anything.
Let me tell you from a guy formally, how that's done is you got your lady in the crib. You the rule number one is you don't tell them. If it's open, it's open. But you just go do what you got to do with your peoples. You don't be like, hey, babe, I'm gonna go out with my significant other. See you late. No.
Okay, let me break it.
If you do that, you totally don't understand the psychology of women, my friend.
Let me break it down.
There's no way in hell you can do that.
Let me break it this way. One of the positives that has brought me a lot of positive things in my life, especially at an early age, is active listening and communication. Okay? And for me, to have those things in order and to go out and decide to go and do something that she has merely said she's okay with, do you really believe someone that has been indoctrinated in the Isaac School of Communication is going to not want communication when I go out with someone else?
But that's not an open relationship, though. You're describing something else.
What am I describing?
I'd just like to say that I'm fully aware that I'm describing something else. I'm just putting my own spin onto it.
I'm just saying that's what the open relationship is going to turn into.
I will say this. Isaac is right. Most men would be surprised at how open and willing women are to be open. It's just that a lot of guys aren't willing to be honest about it. But you would be surprised how many women are willing to do it. And okay,
Wow.
there's that issue. The second issue is that a lot of men can't handle the flip side. So you want to be open on your side, but if you say, "Hey, babe, let's be open," you got to be ready that she getting smashed somewhere else. And a lot of dudes not ready for that.
And I'm not ready for that.
That's what a true
That is the
open
rules, Chris.
relationship.
No.
That's
sir.
That's what a true open relationship
is. Dudes not prepared for that.
It is.
Or she may have 2 or 3 dudes she's smashing.
Right, exactly. All not built for that.
Deep down inside, I believe a man's ego, deep down inside, men don't want to know that shit.
No.
Deep down inside. Women do, which is why they're crazy. They want to know all of it.
It's a different one to know. They want to know, but they don't really want to know. They want to know because they're curious and they're nosy.
Well, because women want to know where they stand in your life. So if a woman, they want to know because they want to know where they stand in your life.
Yeah, they just want to know if they look better than a chick or not.
She want to know.
No, that's not usually. They want to know where they stand in your life. That's really what that is.
Value compared to the next chick.
Exactly.
They want to know what that heifer look like for sure.
Exactly.
But they do. They do want to know what they look like.
They want to know if her ass bigger than hers.
That's a
fact. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Oh, yes, they do.
Chris is right. Because she wants to know where she stands in your life. That's what she wants to know. Where she stands in your life.
But don't women have a habit of comparing physical attributes?
Yeah, because that's what y'all use. That's what y'all use.
So wouldn't that help her come to a conclusion as to where she stands when she asks, "Yo,
this is not rapid fire."
Welcome to Slow Leak.
Welcome to our inaugural first episode. But we're gonna move on to the next topic, and obviously edits are gonna change everything that just happened. So moving on to the next topic. Now, thankfully, I am without kids. However, there are a number of you that have children. Thankfully, praise God. Okay, but there are a number of you that have children. Many of you have older children. Would you let your older child have sex in your house? I have to ask Vic because I've seen his children. I gotta ask Vic because I've seen his children, and I'm like, they're so adorable. But they're gonna grow up one day, and he's got girls. So I just gotta ask Vic first. What are your thoughts, buddy?
He ran off camera. Vic said, "Fuck that shit. I don't even want to think about that shit."
Yo, he about to have
some story in Mandela.
Vic going to get his gun.
Here's my thoughts.
I knew
it. Yo, here's my thoughts. No,
he holding that shit like
never. Never. No. Go if you're married, you got your own man, blah blah blah. Do that shit in your own crib. You not cutting in my. Ain't no dude. The only shaft slanging in my crib is mine. That's the golden rule, and that's that.
Facts.
I want to ask one question, and I don't mean any disrespect. What if they were lesbians?
Oh, nigga, you.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't ask that. Finding a loophole.
I gotta ask. Listen,
I guess no, but like, damn, I don't know. No, it does. It changes the shaft rule, so that may be the loophole, Isaac.
Now he may be all political.
It may be the loophole.
Listen, I had to ask: are we gonna go on the edge or not? Damn it!
Fuck it.
Oh man. No, the answer is no. No to it all.
For anyone that feels any type of way about what was said, understand this is a podcast for comical purposes. Thank you.
And now, for the record, that firearm was legally owned.
100%. Legally owned and registered. Thank you.
That's right.
Got the papers.
Now, with that being said, we are going to move on.
No smashing in my house. Nope. That's not even a discussion. No, it's just not happening. I got grown kids too. My daughters are 25 and 27. I don't give a
Really?
It's not happening. Yeah. No.
Disrespectful overall, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right. Cool.
Fuck that. Hell no. I don't have any biological kids. I've only had step kids and have experience with step kids. But even that, with that being said, fuck no. Just being honest is setting a bad example for the male. And obviously, we don't even have to question if it's a female. That's not even a thought. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But no, it's not a good idea. I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't allow it at my house. Ain't nobody gonna be beating down shit but me in my fucking house. But fuck if it's your mama paying the rent and I'm just a nigga just living off your mama, I'm still gonna be the only nigga there beating down shit in that house.
Okay, so baby boy.
More mature example, and not you can't allow shit like that.
Okay, baby boy, I can dig it.
Hey, so, I'm Melvin. I ain't baby boy. You know what I mean?
All right, I gotta go over to the guy with the fucked up apron.
Yes, I would. I have an 18-year-old son, 16-year-old son, a 14-year-old daughter, and a 10-year-old daughter. What I do know is by working with children for a large portion of my life, that when children are rejected in one place, just because a 16-year-old can't have sex in your house doesn't mean that they won't go into a bathroom. It doesn't mean that they won't go into an abandoned building. Doesn't mean that they won't go into a very dangerous neighborhood because they can't fight off those emotions and hormones. But what I will say is that I don't believe in advocating for my children to have sex with random people. But if my child is in an involved relationship and I know who this person is, I would much rather for them to have sex inside of our house where my child is in complete control. I know there's less a chance of them being raped. There's less of a chance of somebody saying that they were raped. And I know they're in a safe environment and they can't get in any trouble if they're inside my house. Now that's with me meeting their parents and me being a parent and having an understanding with the other parent that, look, we do understand that they're having sex.
Okay, wait, preacher man. Because
he was fine.
You just took the political role to say yes.
I wasn't going to leave him.
You took the political role to say yes just now.
That's what I'm saying. I would allow my children to have sex, but you know, of course,
you kind of put the holy cape on it before you said it to try to kind of ease it in there.
No, but
try to get the justifications for it.
No, but
you don't think that's a little out of line to be that parent that's basically allowing that type of stuff to happen at their house?
Well, that's what it all depends on how you view sex. If you think sex is something that's unnatural or whatever case, I understand that a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid gonna have sex. Now, why would I allow my 17-year-old to go and have sex at someone else's house where he has no control? He could be blamed for anything. Anything could happen to him. I'd much rather for him to be in his own control or for her to be in her own controlled environment where they can control the pace of everything and nothing can happen to them and they're safe. Because the number one thing is for them to be as safe as possible. I don't want my daughter to be in somebody's car getting raped. I'd rather for her to be in her room where that motherfucker know that if anything happens, you won't be leaving the house.
No.
So that's how I
reading a book.
No.
Listen,
that's a fantasy land. Let me tell you what happened now. I'm pretty sure most of us know people or have been to college. People like that. Let me tell you how they react when they get to college. They fuck everything moving.
That's a fact.
Everything moving.
That's a fact.
So you can put that lock on them all you want. As soon as they get from around you, they disrespect you in the worst way. But with education and trust, and you help them to understand what's allowable and what isn't, they'll do exactly things that are respectable, and you can even set rules and regulations for how it should take place in your house or whatever the case is. But I would be hurt to know that my daughter is somewhere in somebody's van having sex and got raped by two guys. Because why? Because she couldn't have sex with her boyfriend in her own house. That would kill me worse than her having sex in a house. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd much rather for it to be in our controlled environment, for her to be in a strange place, putting her life on the line. So that's how I feel about it.
I think that's one extreme to another. So I mean, if you put it like that, of course, people are going to say, yeah, well, I get that, but that's just two extremes. I would rather it actually not happen. And this is just probably me. Like I said, I never had biological children, but I've had stepchildren and I've had a stepdaughter before. even she knew at an early age, like whenever her mom would even joke, like she was talking to a boy today, she would look at me like, Daddy, no, she's just playing. Like, I get it.
I got a question for you. How old were you when you first had sex?
I think I was 15.
And how old was a young girl?
15.
And where'd y'all have sex at?
Her mama house. The parents wasn't there though. The parents wasn't there.
Eric's face.
The parents wasn't there.
I think we can table that. Eric, thank you.
Next question.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Eric.
That don't count. That don't matter. So you bringing up old shit.
Eric just rested.
Eric got it.
Eric rested his case.
He did.
That motherfucker's cheating. That don't count. That don't even got nothing to do with
it was a solid.
Things that got to do with that.
It was fairly solid though.
But overall, I just would much rather for my child to be in control. That's it.
Understood. And good talk, you guys. I didn't want to cut Eric off there because unfortunately, there are a lot of serious things being said within what he's talking about. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to our last rapid fire topic. And I think I'm going to ask that you guys limit your answers to one or two so that other people have a turn.
I ain't doing shit.
All right? Have a turn. All right? Now, the last rapid fire topic. Other than it's cool. Vic is ready. Other than it's cool, what are some death threats that women use? And Vic, because you got your timer ready, buddy.
Oh, you doing me dirty.
You go first.
For me in my life, when I'm at the point with my lady and she says, that's fine. Fucking problem.
It's probably not
Shit
fine.
is not good. Shit is not good. If I get that's fine
something's gonna happen.
and the walk away, I'm not. I might as well just jump in the car, go get a bottle, and just write the rest of the night off. It's a cold world. It'll be cold, so that's fine. Has been in my experience when it's there, it's like yeah, that's fine is the killer, bro. Like you got to watch your ass in the car. Like, yeah, dinner will not be warm that night.
See, those are the type of threats that's given when you're in a long, like you've been together for a while. Those are those more subtle threats. You gotta know what to expect. So
yeah, man.
My bad to just jump in like that.
Well, I mean, Chris, you already going. What are your thoughts, man? What's yours?
Because I've recently been threatened, and
damn,
threats are more like.
Shocker.
Do tell.
Hold on. Let me grab my text. Let me read the text.
I'll give you some extra time. Go get the text.
You better not break my heart, Christopher. ...
Christopher.
Oh, time out. Did she say better not or bet not?
Better not.
Oh, all right. You say
Christopher, not Chris.
You say.
Better not.
Okay, you say. ...
And followed by what is that gif of Angela Bassett setting the car on fire?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I get that one a lot. She likes to use that one a lot.
Yeah, my God.
Tread lightly, my friend. Tread lightly.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, that motherfucking ... That shit's serious.
The ... is for real.
And I get it like every 2 to 3 days consistently
Damn.
just to remind me that she's crazy.
It sounds like she loves you. Like she's crazy in love. Like on some she's crazy in love, my nigga.
Or there's also the option that you could look at what you're doing to piss her off and not do the thing. Also that option.
Is Dion crazy?
We're gonna get to Dion. I'm leaving Dion for last. We're gonna get to Dion. Oh yeah. But
those are symptoms.
Yeah.
Look, I'm fully aware of my bullshit. I always try to keep it honest. Especially me being a Gemini. I know there's two sides of me. So there's this nice guy, I'm a charming guy, and there's definitely the asshole. And I am an asshole. I'm not gonna lie, 100%.
That poor girl.
We know you, buddy.
Oh,
you can't lie.
Like that
we know you now.
Oh, man. I don't know. He plays something, but Eric.
A thin line between love and hate.
I think we're good. With that being said, we are arrogant underdogs. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and fuck that Eagles Cup. And
Friday to you motherfuckers.
Happy Friday, and for anybody watching, especially that special someone. Hi, how you doing, baby?
My boo too. Hey girl, what's up? How you doing?
Peace.